What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thanks for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your Sunday brunch, fellas. Here we are on Sunday, June 30th, 2024, Cleveland. Um, Man, it seems like there's more and more to talk about on Sundays now. I just was the intention was just to what your palate, what the fans' palate, giving just a little bit of content to start the week. But with the NBA draft just happening, NBA free agency, this turns into a lot with Teofimo fighting last night. We still got to talk about our most memorable moments of sports, man. This we got a lot to talk about today. Um, and it's official. It's official. Right. Well, before we get to that, man, what's the weather like up there in the Northwest? What you guys dealing with today? It's June 30th, man. So the weather got to be good, man. I see you with a hoodie on. I'm a little concerned. What you dealing with up there?
Cam, you already know what the weather is. I mean, do I have to say
It's June 30th. It's June 30th, man. We got the 4th of July weekend coming around right around the corner, and you got a hoodie on, man. I'm a little concerned.
You go ahead and tell me what the weather's like up here.
I mean,
Go ahead
I'm
and say
miles and miles away.
go,
What is it? It's
go ahead
65
and
and drizzly.
it's what?
The 65 and drizzly.
Damn right.
Man, come on, man. Well, you're saving up for the big weekend. You know, the calendar changes tonight, and you got a big weekend coming up. So maybe you guys are saving something for the big weekend. Um, I know you can have some of this humidity down here. It's 96 and humid at noon today, right now. Yeah, you guys can have some of that if you like. I'll send you a spoonful. How about that?
Okay.
Cleveland, like I said, big weekend, man. Big weekend in in, in the NBA. We have. Let's just start off with this, man. Paul George opts out. Will enter free agency. He and the Clippers has been going back and forth ever since Kawhi signed his deal, which is roughly 3 years, 150 mil. They was offering Paul George the same thing, and Paul says, "I want a fourth year." Well, that's been the holdup for the last seemingly 5 or 6 months since Kawhi signed his deal. So essentially, this means unless Paul, just come to his senses and decides he really wants to stay in LA, Southern California, this looks like the end, and we'll know by the end of the day. But this looks like it's the end of the 2-1-3 era, as it was called. Kawhi number 2, PG 13, Paul George wearing 13. It looks like this might be the end of the era. If it is the end of the era, what's your thoughts? And do you expect Paul George to go ahead and opt out? And we'll talk about a couple options that he has on the table. But what's your thoughts on that there?
Yeah, it just concludes the epic failure that was the signing of Kawhi Leonard. I mean, it came with the the understanding that you had to go and trade for Paul George. So you traded all your assets for him. You put that together. It's never worked out. Very rarely are they on the court at the same time in the playoff times. So, Barry,
what's going on, big guy?
And
epic failure of the. Was it epic failure the signing of Kawhi Leonard or trading for Paul George?
The signing of Kawhi Leonard because it came with all those stipulations. Number one, you have to go and get my guy. They said, well, okay. So they gave OKC all of that, draft capital and Shea. So, I mean, didn't work out.
You say that's the epic failure to sign the most coveted free agent in the league. Would it have been an epic failure if the Lakers signed Kawhi Leonard?
Well, no. I mean, if the Lakers signed Kawhi Leonard, the stipulation would not have been to trade all of your assets for It has never worked out. They haven't gotten out of the second round of the playoffs since Kawhi's been there?
No, they've been to the conference finals.
Oh, did they go to the conference finals at one time? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Kawhi didn't play in that series.
Okay. Well, they're not going next year, and they're not going the year after that. And the into it, but to do it, dome. Yeah, it's going to be I don't want to say empty, because there's lots of people in LA, but it's not going to really have any type of energy or pizzazz to it.
It's gonna have a lot of energy, a lot of pizzazz. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you think.
No,
What you
I mean
think? What you think? Bomber's
technologically,
putting
like
up a
I said,
shoebox? You
I'm
think
sure.
Bomber's digging up the ground in Inglewood and putting up a shoebox with a few lights in it? Come
No,
on,
I mean, I'm sure everybody's going to have like a remote, like right underneath their seat. I mean, technologically, it'll be great. It's just not going to, wins and losses is what I'm referring to. Like the Crib House, it's got banners and stuff, and prestige and panache, and that's just going to be a really cool spaceship. It's like being on the on the Enterprise and Star Trek. It's got a lot of gadgets and stuff, and a lot of cool stuff in there, but wins and losses not so much.
He says epic failure. So again, he opted out. So that means either he's going to accept the 3-year deal that the Clippers have had on the table for the last 5 months, which is if you're going to accept the deal, like why even go through this? Um, is he trying to apply pressure? Is he open a cave? It's a bad game of chicken right now. But the Sixers essentially can offer him. He wants the 4th year. The Sixers can offer him the 4th year, $212 million. 212 million total deal. The Magic can kind of fit him in under their budget as well. The Warriors was a conversation for the Warriors, but the Warriors would have to really rely on a sign and trade situation. Um, but with him opting out, that really makes the sign and trade deal um, uh, essentially undoable. There's some machinations where it could happen, but it really makes it a tough thing to pull off for both teams. So if you're Paul George, do you want to go play with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey? I mean, Embiid is much like Kawhi. He hasn't been healthy in the playoffs when you need him most. And, you are playing with Maxey, a younger point guard. What's your thoughts on Paul George and in the 76ers?
If he goes to Philly, it's a much easier road to get to the finals. Really, your biggest obstacle would be the Celtics at this point. If you
Oh,
team
the
up,
Bucks aren't in the way. Your Bucks aren't in, or your
well,
Bucks
I mean,
aren't
if you
in.
team up with Joel and Tyrese Maxey, yeah, that makes them a little bit more formidable than just Dame Dollar and Giannis, considering the precipitous drop of Chris Middleton to this point. So.
I don't know if you had any stock in Middleton anyway, but okay. The Magic. What do you see? I mean, he's going to a young team there. The Magic got to the second round of the playoffs this year. Um, which, if you were advising Paul George, where would you direct him to go? The Magic or the 76ers?
If I was advising him, I would tell him to go to the 76ers if it was purely about basketball. But I think he's gotten pretty comfortable being on the West Coast, being close to home, being close to his family. I know that's important to him. So that kind of leaves probably Golden State or the Los Angeles Lakers if he wants to take a little bit of a.
You see, Cleveland. Just so you know, man. Just I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but every conversation in the NBA doesn't swirl around the Los Angeles Lakers.
It certainly does. It starts there, and then it goes to wherever
it start there. It doesn't start there. I like how you trying to fit that, like trying to squeeze it in, try to square the square peg into a round hole, and everything kind of fits in that in that circular option. It doesn't. Just to let you and Laker fans know, it doesn't. But we're gonna get that. Are the Lakers an option? Considering LeBron is going to take a pay cut. Yes, the answer is yes. They are an option, but Paul George isn't gonna. He's not going to accept the option that they have on the table. The most they would have is like double the mid-level exception, like paying um, James Harden 16 to 17 million, even with LeBron taking a pay cut, and that means LeBron's taking a pay cut from the 50 that he could get to like the 33, 35, which he'd have to have, I'd imagine. Maybe since you and Rob been talking, apparently sending text messages back and forth. And are you and JJ on the text link?
Jay's not on it. Jay's not on the. Not on.
JJ's not on the text link right now. Well, maybe you can explain this. The caliber of player that LeBron wants. If James Harden can take the 17, that means Paul George can't go from the 50 that he's been crying for with the Clippers to 20 million for the to go next door. I mean, you don't take a $30 million pay cut, do you?
Depends on what's important to you, Cam. If championships and staying close to home, and playing for a team is incredible like the Los Angeles Lakers, then yeah, you might have to do that.
Do you, Cleveland? Do the Lakers have a better chance of making the NBA Finals than the Clippers with Paul George? With Paul George on either team?
Oh, most definitely.
See, JT, we can't even have a truthful conversation with this dude now because everything's gonna swirl around the Lakers. I'm scared of the Lakers right now. If LeBron takes a little tiny pay cut, uh, but it's only for certain players. It's just not for anybody. And somebody like is going to be a veteran mid-level exception. Again, we're talking about a veteran. We're talking about a James Harden caliber player. We're talking about the DeMar DeRozan caliber player. Are they going to be difference makers when it comes down to it? Is James Harden going to be a difference maker? Well, he hasn't in Brooklyn. He hasn't been in
OKC or Houston or
okay. Yeah, Philadelphia. There's what I was leaving out. He hasn't been in Philadelphia or the Clippers. So that's the play. That's the caliber player we're talking about. If he goes to the Lakers, does that all of a sudden change things? Cleveland to tell you, yeah. What up, champ? We got champ side, the baddest brand in the land on the line today. What's your word? What's your thoughts on it? What's LeBron gonna do, big dog?
I don't think Harden coming to the purple and gold is necessarily a great move for us. It's
now you're taking shots at James Harden.
I haven't really seen enough in the playoffs to say he's going to make a difference.
You're
now maybe he can go to Orlando and get some playing time down there, and maybe show those young cats how to do things.
What now? Repeat that.
I said maybe he could go to Orlando and show those young cats how to do some things, but
no. Yeah, they don't want James Harden in Orlando. No. No, we don't want to. We don't want to cloud Paulo's mind at all. We don't want to do that. We want him thinking basketball and focus on what's going on in the gym and not the periphery down there in Kissimmee, Florida. There's a few things, even though it's Central Florida, it ain't South Beach. There's a few things that can still dilute the mind there. We don't want none of that. All right, JT, where you at? You're not a Laker fan, but I think they will indeed be a factor in barring injury in the West and barring injury. He's signing. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Cleveland wants to, Cleveland thinks they're gonna get Maxey. That DeMar DeRozan is going to show up
tomorrow.
He thinks that Victor is going to be there in a couple of years. So, I don't know him and Rob. I don't know what they would do.
All true statements.
I know. I didn't even have to ask you. I know you and Rob are really fired up, and I was surprised. So we're going to get into it a little later when I talk about the draft. We might as well jump into it right now with the signing of Bronny James to the Lakers. Oh my goodness. I saw a report that had the Lakers having the number 2 best pick of the draft, and the pick they were referring to was not Bronny James, Cleveland. Who was the pick that they were referring to that gave them the second best pick of the draft?
Connect 4, Dalton Connect from the University of Tennessee.
And they had the Houston Rockets with Reed Shepard as the number one, the best pick of the draft, stating that Reed Shepard is going to be a Mark Price type of player. I wanted him for his drop dead shooting in San Antonio, but they said Mark Price. I'm not sure I saw that. Did you see Mark Price out of Shepard coming out of Kentucky?
No, he didn't play a whole lot, but again, he was playing at the University of Kentucky, so there's a lot of talent there. But we've seen that in the past from players at Kentucky. They excel much greater in the pros than they ever did in college. We saw that from Jamal Murray. We saw that from Devin Booker. So once we even saw that from Tyrese Maxey. So I mean, there's a level of preparedness that they get from Calipari that perhaps they don't necessarily get an opportunity, even De'Aaron Fox to a certain extent, right? That you don't necessarily get a chance to see at Kentucky, but you see the potential and the promise, and they fulfill it once they get to the league.
Yeah. What's that you say, champ? Wants to mentor Bronny, he'll stay. You think he got 3 years to wait for Bryce? Yeah, I don't think the Lakers going to be winning anything. Well, you think he's going to stay, and now he's going to have 2 of his sons on one team? Is that what Champ is? Champ, I'll give Champ credit. He told me that Champ told me at the beginning of the year last year that the New England Patriots is going to will not win more than 4 games in Cleveland. He's a boxing analyst. I took no stock in that, and sure enough, the Patriots won 4 games. Oh, so good call. Now you're saying the Lakers. Bronny's going to stay around till Bryce comes. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. If you can get 2 sons on the same team, I'm sure Rob and Jeannie is all on that, and that'll be a movie. That'll be a movie. Me and My Sons, I guess. What was the name of the TV show?
My 3
Sons. So that'll be the Lakers, and that'll be the Lakers. Me and My Sons. Look, Cleveland already salivating. He's already salivating about this TV series that they're gonna have. My 3 Sons. That'll be absolutely ridiculous. But your boy Rob said this. I couldn't believe he announced this during the press conference after they signed Bronny. He says a thing like this, a storyline like this is supposed to happen for the Lakers. It's supposed to happen in Hollywood. Are you now telling me you're making moves for your organization to tell stories, to make movies out of, Rob, to make TV shows? Is this what we're doing, Rob? You're building scripts for movie shows, Rob? Is this what you're doing in your job? The Hollywood sign, Rob? Are you getting a little confused what's going when you see the Hollywood sign and what's actually going on? Because you don't. That's about 15 miles from your practice facility, Rob. The Hollywood sign is. And you got to pass Staples on your way to the Hollywood sign. Rob, I think you might be getting a little confused about what the role of your job is. You're supposed to make things happen at the Staples Center, not in Hollywood, Rob. Is he getting a little confused?
No, Cam. What he's done is he's appeased the king, and that's all of this has ever really been about. You know what I'm saying? To be perfectly honest, it is the biggest flex in the history of sports. If you tell an entire league that you want to play with your son, and the entire league is on pins and needles with regards to whether we should or shouldn't take someone that's not really ever going to play NBA basketball at a high level, then I mean that's what that's all about. I mean, the only other thing that we can kind of make a comparison to would be Thanasis Antetokounmpo up in Milwaukee. He has a permanent spot on that team, but Giannis has never come out and said, if you don't sign my brother, then you don't get me either. It's just been kind of like I
Understood.
appreciate you, keeping this, uh, security blanket around me, someone that I'm familiar with, someone that, gives me comfort, gives me peace of mind. I'm playing with my brother, he doesn't play and he's not like pining for minutes. I mean, if the Narcissus is in the game, then they're either up by 25 or down by 25. So
They'd sign his other brother if they could. If they can get away with this, sign of his other brother, they could. But then that'd be a bigger stretch. I mean, it's so everything is just to appease LeBron. Here we are, just to appease LeBron. So
yeah, and
come on,
again,
I,
fortunately, like I said, Cam, when I was watching the draft, I was like, at 17, please don't make this a story at 17. At
I
55, it ain't really even a story. How many players from 55 to 60 even make the league?
sure, yeah. The last two 55 number 55 draft picks played a total of four games in the past two seasons. So uh,
And to be fair, I mean the league has been pretty good about bringing people's kids in. Scottie Pippen Jr. Has played for a minute. Juan Wagner's kids play a lot.
yeah, your guy Habistro wrote an article that talking about the second seed, the second generation player actually has more success than a lot of just random draft picks in the league. So there's truth to that. There is some truth to that because they have some pedigree. Cleveland, they have pedigree and they understand the culture of the league. And I know you don't like that word, but they understand of kind of what they've been around the league. They know what it takes. Um, let's see, JT. I'm a Bulls fan right now. Talk around the city is that attaching the first to Zach LaVine, but then is that they can't get rid of Zach LaVine. That's what I'm hearing, and trying to tank next year. And I want it. They apparently they can't get rid of his Zach LaVine, even by attaching the first to him. That's I read a couple of reports like that, JT. So the Bulls might be just struggling with the circumstances of themselves. Signings, weird signings. Now they got rid of Caruso, DeMar. I mean, can they get rid of that piece? And maybe they attach it to attach Levine and DeMar and say, okay, to take one, you have to take the other. I mean, because that was a conversation maybe this time last year that the Lakers could get Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. So maybe they package them two together. But from all accounts are telling me is that they can't attach a first to. They can't get rid of LaVine even by attaching a first. So I don't know what's going with LaVine, what he did to piss people off. That the Bottle kid, I don't know what he did, but he can't really. He's not seeing the light of day right now. He's not seeing the good side of the NBA. Cleveland with the LeBron with the Lakers signing LeBron with the 55 pick. What you kind of mentioned it earlier. You said he's just a rotational player, but what is his ceiling? What do you think his ceiling is?
His ceiling is the 12th man on the bench.
Oh, that's his ceiling, Cleveland.
That's his ceiling.
He doesn't get any. He doesn't become a rotational player at all. Wow, you're being harsh. I mean, that might be the harshest words I heard from you in the Lakers and all over the time doing the show. You don't think with the training, being in the NBA, getting some coaching. I know you don't like that philosophy either. You don't think he can be better than the sixth man on the 12th man on the bench? That means he never get in it. That means he plays as many minutes as the Nasus does. That's your expectation?
That's my expectation. Yeah.
Wow. So I'm surprised by this. I'm blown away right now. Fans, I'm speechless. Cleveland has me speechless right now, saying Bronny James. So, do you send him to the D League? Does he go to the D League to get some run?
No, again, the whole move was to appease the king, right? So, I mean, shuffle him down. I mean, all you're going to do is, if you send him down to the D League, is expose him for, even more of a fraud that he is. Like, so he'll go down there and he won't ball down there either. So then they'll be like, okay, well, he can't ball down there. You want how could he possibly be up here? I mean, let's not pull the curtain all the way back. Let's just have him sit next to.
Oh, wow, fans! I'm about to clip this one. Cleveland is just going scorch earth on Bronny James. So why didn't take him at 55? Just for the story? Just for the storyline?
No, to appease the king. The storyline is great fodder. I mean, yeah, that'll make a Disney movie, any day now. But or a Spring Hill movie any day now. So I mean, that's fine.
Good call.
That's fine. But
so is this going to be part of Jeannie's biopic? Is this going to be part of Jeannie's biopic?
That time that she appeased the king, yeah, that's part of it for sure.
When is that coming out?
2026.
Wow. You had to push that back because I thought you said 2025 last time I asked you.
Well, now there's all this additional content to add, right, to the story. So
there's a little bit more. Okay, interesting. Wow, that's crazy. Cleveland says we can't pull the curtain. If we send him down to the G League, we'll find out that he really can't ball at all. That's funny. That's the most. That's the harshest words he's had for a Laker for the show, guys. We've been doing the show over 10 years. That's the harshest words Cleveland has had. Might be most truthful. We'll see for the Lakers. So let me ask you this question. Now you done changed my line of questioning for you Cleveland. When do they play on the court together? So they signed him. He's in New Jersey. He's not going to the G League. You and Rich has already agreed that he can't go to the G League. Does he play Summer League? Okay, does he play Summer League? Let's ask that question. Does he play Summer League? You don't know if you want him to play Summer League? Is that what we got going?
I don't know. I mean, I guess he has to play some in the Summer League. I don't want him to play too much in the Summer League. A mysterious hamstring injury might have to keep him out of Summer League the last couple of weeks.
Oh my goodness! Now he don't even want him to suit up for Summer League.
I prefer he didn't.
I mean, he had to get some run to kind of see.
Some run. I mean, a little. Like I said, get some run.
But, and then also we're gonna have a hamstring injury in the second quarter.
Serious hamstring injury.
So he'll be healing all summer long. He's healing from a hamstring injury.
Yes.
So okay. I mean, so before that, I was gonna ask you when did him and Bron see the court together? And now you're saying I was thinking it would be early in the season, October, November, where the games really don't matter much because you don't want to see him in March and April or listen to what you're saying. But now you're telling me if he's healing from a hamstring injury, that might push it to December or January that they see the court.
No. Hopefully he doesn't play too much in the Summer League. And then, like you're saying, let's kind of get that out of the way sooner than later. Let's not have this be the storyline every single game. When are we going to
be the storyline?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Let's try and get that out of the way in maybe the first 15 to 20 games. Let's see it happen.
Oh, so then let's still have the veil of the hamstring. He's not quite healed from the hamstring injury.
No. See the hamstring thing is just to kind of slowly acclimate him into things, so he doesn't have to be out there in Summer League getting torched by the likes of Riley Shepard and the French Cats. And
oh my goodness! Hey guys, this is a starch Laker fan right here. These are the harshest words I've heard from Cleveland on the Lakers ever. He said there's going to be. He's telling us already there's going to be a hamstring injury from Bronny that he's going to be suffering in the Summer League. So we're not going to see him till October, potentially November, depending on when tip-off is. And then that's going to be it. So you get one. He gets 5 or 10 minutes in a game. I mean, will he get an assist from Bron? Will he be able to throw LeBron an alley-oop? I
Quite
mean,
possibly. Quite possibly.
and then that'll be it. Come sit down next to me, JJ. Oh my goodness gracious! Oh my fans, you got heard it here first. I mean, there's no bigger fan than Cleveland James, and woo, I'm blown away right now. What this Kyle Filipowski? I mean, do we want to talk about this? Do we sweep this under the rug? I mean, does this need to be brought to light? I mean, the situation with him being ACC Player of the Year and going in day two. Um,
No, not really. I mean, the ACC wasn't what it's been in years past, and
no. Come on, you can't crap on the ACC like that. I mean, they have heritage. That's heritage right there. Just like you talked about all the players from Kentucky. You got to talk about what the ACC has been and what that's meant. Players coming out of Duke, you still got to be good coming out of Duke. You can't just be one of those guys. You can't be just a guy coming out of Duke. And to do what he did, I think ACC Player of the Year 2 years in a row. Come on, man. I mean, okay, he had a little what's the guy you don't like? Shoot, I have a brain fart. Grayson. He had a little Grayson. He came in
and he's got a little
Grayson in him. Little Grayson in him, and then kind of wore off. But what about the drama with his girlfriend? Are you familiar with that? How she made him disown his family, and she's part of the Mormon heritage, if you will. And then he gets drafted by Utah.
Well, that's a great storyline in and of itself as well. The NBA right now is just developing storylines left and right. Sounds like.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I mean, he went to everybody else was apparently scared because nobody drafted in the first round this type of player with this type of lineage, and then he ends up getting going to Utah Jazz. Like, do you think that was by mistake? That couldn't have been by mistake, right?
No, not by mistake. I mean, think they had the first or second pick in the second round, so they probably feel very similar to how the Lakers feel about Dalton Connect falling all the way to them. So
him and Lori Marketing. I mean, they got some shooters now. They got some shooters on that squad. So outside of the Lakers, outside of Utah, who would you say had the better draft? Like, who gets your best draft grade?
Who gets my best draft grade?
And again, you can't go.
I'm curious to see how Memphis uses Edey.
Do you like that pickup? A lot of people saying Edey's a stiff and that's not going to work. I think that's going to work because they have Jaren Jackson Jr. that he's going to be able. He's not Steven Adams. Steven Adams was solid and could play a little bit, but he'll be able to do some of the things that Steven Adams would. He be the muscle, be the tough guy, get some rebounds, He's not going to be a shot blocker. I don't expect him to come in there and be Victor, but he can deter some shots. I think so. I don't think that's a terrible pick. What's your thoughts on where he falls?
I worry about him culturally going to Memphis. To be perfectly honest with you, kind of like I worry about the French dude going to Atlanta. That did they truly do their due diligence? He seemed kind of like he had the deer in the headlights look, and ATL is not really the place for that. So I'm a little concerned. And plus, the reason they took him is because the other guy wouldn't come do their workouts with him. So, they kind of like by default they picked him. They couldn't pick Riley Shepard with the number 1 pick in the draft. So, what are you going to do, right? Err on the side of potential, I guess, so to speak. So, Yeah, that's the thing that I'm most concerned about over there with Edie, and then Ja coming in. I mean, this it's not a team full of role models over there by any stretch of the imagination. So
Oh, there's a meme. Did you see the meme of the meme of the dudes? I think it's a European cat shooting all white boys shooting a video. The white boy gets up to the car, puts a gun in his pants, and then he pulls in the he's rapping and pulls the gun out, and then almost shoots himself. Did you see that meme? Have you seen that meme? And they said that is Edie 6 months after playing with Ja. That's a meme. Like that's pretty funny.
oh, but
Yeah, I don't know.
true.
I think Edie can fit in.
Curious to see what Dillingham is going to do up there with your.
Well, he's going to be coming off the bench. I think that'll be a good spot for him coming off the bench. Coming off the bench in Minnesota, he'll be able to ease into a role. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to come in there they're not expecting him to average 18 points a night, right? If he comes in there and averages, is able to shoot 50% or somewhere there 45%, make some plays, make some assists. I mean, those would be some good nights for him. So he'll be able to ease into that role, I think, which is a good spot for him. I'm still confused how at the Spurs you take Castle at number 4. I got my eyes on Castle. I'm watching you, Castle. I didn't see enough at number 4, but I'm told so. I guess the couple comparisons they gave him an Andre Iguodala comparison, but Andre Iguodala had more game coming out of Arizona than I saw Castle had coming out of Connecticut. Andre had a more offensive game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So I don't really see that comparison, but I've heard that a couple of different times. I still don't understand why Spurs you don't take Connect at number 8. Like I don't.
Well, that's water under the bridge, Cam. He's a Laker now, so let's not get back into what could have been.
Yeah, and then a lot of these players, outside of Dalton Connect, who I was expecting to go early, fall into number 17 in the Lakers. A lot of the Terrence Shannon Jr. Shout out to Terrence Shannon Jr. Talking about Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously, he had the false accusation, and he falls down. Good thing he got picked in the first round, though, because that's typically you don't get picked when you have that type of accusation against you. But good thing he falls to the Timberwolves. I think he falls to a good spot to where he again scoring potential, a player with potential, and he's coming into a situation where they're not. I don't think their success isn't dependent on him, Dillingham, or Shannon Jr. You follow what I'm saying? They can come in and they can contribute. They can take time to develop. They can contribute as the team needs. They're going to get some spot minutes here or there, and then take advantage of your minutes, and they're going to be competing, obviously, in a backcourt with Anthony Edwards. They're going to be competing for minutes, so whoever performs best will get more minutes. I would see that. So I like those 2 pickups from Minnesota. Now that I'm looking at this list, I think that really works out for them. What do you think about Isaiah Collier going to the Jazz?
I was just about to circle back to that as with regards to who had the best draft. I think when you look at wasn't Isaiah the Pac-12 Player of the Year? So if you get the Pac-12 and the ACC Player of the Year, drafting that late, I mean that's kind of a coup, right?
That is a pretty good pickup. That is a pretty good pickup, and again, they're going to be happy just to get on the court and get some run. The 2 of those guys were. I know you don't like to talk about them, but did you see anything out of the Jalen Wells and the Cougars? I think I saw the Cougars play a couple times this past season. Jalen Wells, he went to Memphis. You got any thoughts on Jalen Wells?
Honestly, I did not see a single Wazoo game this year. I heard the one. I watched, I think, the last couple of minutes of the UW Wazoo game when they came to the Bank of America Arena, but I don't have a lot of intel on that one.
Okay, well, okay, that's all good. I think he's going to be he's going to Memphis, where they're going to need. He's going to he's going to a team where he'll be behind Desmond Bain, behind Marcus Smart. Um, he'll be able to, give Ja a breather every now and then. And if he takes advantage of the opportunities that he can find them role there. Because they're not going to be their team. The team success isn't relying on him being successful, but he'll get an opportunity to get some run in. I think that'll be a good spot for him. And those French guys at the top of the draft, we'll see how they do. Um, I'm concerned with the Hawks, for many reasons. I thought when they traded for DeJounte Murray a couple years ago, I thought that spelled the end of Trae Young. Everybody wanted to tell me, "Oh no, that's a good backcourt. They play good together." Whoopty whoopty whoop. They were 500 in 2 years with it with both guys in the backcourt. They're 500. Um, I'm not a big fan of Trae Young. I just don't think he impacts winning. Sure, he had that one series where he beat the Knicks. It seems like 6 years ago. I'm just not a fan. I don't think he impacts winning. Plain and simple. So now we'll see how he plays with the young French guy. How he uses his leadership skills and his being an established veteran in NBA, how he takes his young guy under the wing and how he gets the best out of him. We'll see how that works out. But the Hawks trade DeJounte Murray to the Pelicans. What do you think about that? What do you think about that one? Talk to me about that. Hawks
if healthy, they're suddenly a legitimate contender to get to the conference finals, right? With that backcourt of DeJounte and CJ, healthy Zion.
They needed a point guard. I will say they needed a point guard in the playoffs. That was one of their downfalls late in the season. Is they didn't have that guy to kind of that floor general guy. They were relying on CJ to do that. CJ was not that guy. I was saying CJ is not that guy. CJ needed somebody to help him get the ball or help him get his right shots. Now that they have a point guard on the team who plays defense, who's kind of an all around point guard. Murray, he showed in Atlanta that he can put up a 45-point game. He can put up a 50-point game. But I don't know that you want him doing that. You know what I'm saying? You probably want him to have the average 22 points a game, 8 or 9 assists, get your 6-7 rebounds. That's a solid game for you. I'll take all of that every night versus you going out there and trying to be the dominant scorer. Now, can you get Zion? Can you help Zion average 30 points a game by getting him the ball, getting him some easy buckets? Can you help CJ? Now, take the pressure off of CJ. Again, CJ's best years were playing next to Dame where he had somebody else handling the ball, right? Now, kind of put him back in that situation. What are they doing with Brandon Ingram? Brandon Ingram was on the block for I think they were trying to get rid of him last week during the draft. We'll see how that helps those guys out. I think it's a good. I like DeJounte Murray. I like what he brings to the court. I like what he brings to the court. So therefore, I kind of like that pick. I don't know if it makes him a favorite in the Western Conference Finals. Let's settle down.
No, I said a potential team that can get into the Western Conference Finals. You know how I feel about it, Cam. It all begins in the second round. So once you get there, then we kind of do the maneuvering from there. But they definitely put themselves in a position to be one of those teams that could be there.
Hardaway gets traded to the Pistons. The Pistons signed a new coach today, JB Bickerstaff.
I like the move. I thought he got a raw deal in Cleveland. Not quite sure what they were anticipating or what they thought he was going to be able to do with that squad. And what does the next level mean? I mean, do they really think that was a championship caliber squad? I mean,
well,
see it.
I mean, well, with some of the pieces that they had, I mean, you had the two big men.
They were markedly more, better than they were the year before. Before he was coaching them. So it's not, the firing makes it seem like it was his fault and that they regressed or didn't live up to, their potential. And I don't think either one of those things were the case. So I think he was just kind of a scapegoat.
Okay, so BJ Bickerstaff or Monty Williams?
Oh, I think JB Bickerstaff is
JB.
probably better suited for that role.
I mean, okay, okay. I don't think most people would take JB Bickerstaff over Monty Williams as a head coach, but that's what they decided. Now, do they want to save money? Coaches are on their
Well,
salary.
they're not saving any money because they had to cash out.
Yeah,
Monty.
so I don't. So therefore, I don't know. Kind of, I don't really get what's going on. New guy, maybe the relationship that Trajan Langdon had with JB in Cleveland. He was there in Cleveland for a minute. Maybe that relationship carried over until we want to get this guy in Detroit. I don't know. It just didn't seem like it was a huge decision maker. What's this? Obi Toppin expected to sign a 4-year deal with the Pacers. 4 years, 60 mil. Not a bad deal. 4 years, 60 mil for a round player. Maxey expected to sign his deal 5 years, 205 with his extension. 5 years, 205 with the Sixers. Donovan Mitchell with those Cleveland Cavaliers. 5 years, 209. Expected to sign that with the Cavaliers. Excuse me, I said the Clippers. But the talk was that he might not be the answer there. What do you think?
He's not the answer there.
Oh wow. You want to see his contract they're paying? Yeah. Oh, you talking about JB? No, they're not paying JB making $4 million. He's not making big. But yeah, they might be having $100 million just for the coach. That's right. Donovan not the answer there. They got Donovan, Jared Allen, Mobley. Mobley had a bad year this year. I think Mobley will turn around next year, just because it was a bad year for him. They got Levert. Like they're a second round playoff team. They're a second round playoff team. They did what they expected to do. All right, fans. Last night, how many of you guys saw Tiafimo go the distance with Steve Claggett, who had now 8 losses, 7 losses going into the fight? It was a yawner. It was a yawner. Your guy, Cleveland. Did you? That's your guy. You've been talking about Fimo all season long. Did you watch Tiafimo Lopez last night?
Yeah, unfortunately, Cam, I had some other things I was preoccupied and had to take care of, so I didn't get a chance to get around and watching Fimo.
Don't you? I'm gonna stop talking boxing with you. You don't want to watch the big fights because you don't like you fighting. I asked you, Cleveland, who's the fighter you want to see? Oh, I watch Tank fights. You don't tune into it. Oh, Timo, I like Timo. Timo fighting. You don't even tune into it. We're gonna stop talking boxing.
I had some other things come up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. It's always something coming up. You always got something coming up. I get it. Cleveland, we started a new segment a couple weeks ago. Do you remember the name of the segment, Cleveland?
Great moments in sports.
The most memorable moments in sports. So I have a moment for you guys. Again, I can't run the video. All right, I got admonished for running the video because of privacy what is trademark infringement. So I can't run the video, but I can show you this image. I can show you this image, fans. And I think when you see this image, it will make sense. Can you see the image?
I cannot see the image, Cam.
When you see the image, fans, this will make 100% sense to you. Can you see the image, Cleveland? Can you see the image? What does this remind you of? Where were you? And was this a push-off?
I don't recall exactly where I was, but yes, it was an offensive foul. Look where his hand is.
Right.
This is before the shove. And fans in that picture,
Well, the shove is coming.
when Michael Jordan shoved him, imagine him shoving him completely out of the picture so that he's not even in the picture anymore.
Well, the shove is coming. The shove is coming.
The shove's coming?
The shove is you say, and this is before the shove. I mean, that was part of the, is coming. He's gonna put the ball, he's gonna cross him up, and as he crossed him up, he's shoving him out of the way, out of the picture.
Out of the picture, yeah. If this was like the video that you're talking about, that you would be trademarked.
Yeah, trademark. Yeah, it looks like a bucket to you. Yeah,
he would have shoved him out of the picture.
Oh yeah. You're a Bulls fan. That's right. You're right. He pushed off. Can you admit that, Mac? JT Mac, admit that he pushed off. I mean, it was a classical moment. Sure enough. It was a nice way to end a career. I mean, he just couldn't stay away after that, clearly. But it was a classical moment, sure enough. But admit that it was a push-off. Just that's all we're asking. Cleveland actually gave us some honesty today, and when he talked about what Bronny's actually going to be, but I need somebody to admit that was actually a push-off. Yeah, I can't do it because of the prison. I can't do it.
I mean, I'll give the Bulls a little bit of credit for coming back down by 4, with 37 seconds and all that, and Carlin, Stockton and Malone not being able to deliver, knowing that Scottie Pippen couldn't play Game 7, and they would have Game 7 at home to end all that dynasty talk, and they just fell apart. But that being said, that's an egregious offensive foul. Everyone saw it, and no one had the courage to call it.
No one had the courage to call it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if this speaks to your moment just a little bit clearer. Makes it a little bit clearer. No, they poisoned my guy before the game. Oh, and all right, Cleveland, is this what you wanted to see here? You want to see how far he was out of the shot? By this time, here's the ball here. By the time he's back into play, the ball's already gone. Is that what you wanted to see?
You see him, he's on the ground.
Huh?
He's on the ground practically. He is on the ground.
So Utah, I don't know if you know it or not, but the Wi-Fi password in Utah, you know what it is? Not the password, but the Wi-Fi domain in Utah's building is Jordan pushed off.
Oh, I did not know
that. That's a Wi-Fi.
Yeah, no one's forgetting that one, are they, Cam?
That's it.
What's the Wi-Fi password? Oh yeah, Jordan pushed off.
That. Oh my goodness! And that was what? 96? No, was it 96? No,
that's 98.
98. 98.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. But the Wi-Fi password is Jordan pushed off.
I'm never changing that.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Again, fans, we just kind of want to whet your palate on some sports content, some things that happened earlier in the week, from Wednesday to now. Obviously, the draft being a major conversation. NBA free agency. NBA is doing a good job now, kind of like the NFL was a couple years ago, of maintaining, providing content and maintaining top of mind throughout the whole year, versus just during their actual season. Like the summer league is coming up, so we'll be talking about the NBA here during the summer league. Who's playing and who's not. We'll be talking about this phantom hamstring injury that apparently did Rob already tell you that it is happening? Rob already tell you that that's going to happen? The hamstring injury?
Well, no, it's just strategic planning on everybody's part. Everybody wants us to go off, really, really well. So, no one wants to, embarrass themselves in any way, shape, form, or fashion. They want the story to be the story, and have somewhat of an organic content to it. But again, you don't want to see that guy out on the court too many times until you absolutely have to.
I mean, what happens when they're up 30 or down 30? I mean, does
Yeah,
he get garbage assignment?
Perhaps.
I mean, you're saying perhaps. You're not even sure that he's gonna. It doesn't sound like there's a improvement plan. From what I understand it from you, it doesn't sound like you, JJ, or Rob has a performance improvement plan in place. It just sounds like, man, just enjoy wearing your jersey. Don't show up late to practice. Don't show up late to the games, and don't embarrass your pops. That's what it sounds like.
And don't embarrass us. So, like when you get your chances, make the most of them. Like you said, run, pick and roll, throw alley oop to Pops, Pops might throw alley oop to you, hey, that's awesome.
So do they ride to practice in the same car? Like,
well, I mean, they still live, he still lives at home.
Yeah, so, that's what I'm saying. But does Pops give him a ride to practice? Does he drive to practice? Like,
well, I think they ride to practice separately because Pops, typically has stuff to do right after practice. And so, he might not be going straight back home. You know what I'm saying? So it's probably best to take two cars.
Oh, okay. Does he complain? When he comes home, does he complain about his dad at practice? Does he complain to his dad or complain to his mom about his dad at practice?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Dad ain't giving me enough run.
There's gonna be some times where he gets slighted, or maybe somebody bucks up on him on practice a little bit more than he would have liked, and Dad kind of lets it go. Probably wishes Dad would have stuck up for him a little bit more. There may be some of that. Yeah.
When they're on the court, when they do get on the court together, does he call, "Hey, LeBron, throw me the ball," or does he say, "Dad, I'm open, Dad. I'm open, Dad"? Do you? I mean, how does that go? Does it say? Son, LeBron say, "Son, I'm open." Son, Bronny.
No. See. He can still refer to him as Bronny, but Bronny has to say Dad. Yeah.
Bronny has to. He can't say LeBron. He's a LJ. He can LJ. I'm open. Or does he call him King? Does he say King? Hit me, King.
It's just Dad.
Huh?
It's just Dad or Pops.
Dad or okay. I mean, I'm just trying to. These are things that the fans want to know. The fans want to know what Cleveland thinks. Cleveland says they have to take two cars to work. I mean, there's no rookie hazing per se,
no.
But does LeBron send them to Randy Donuts at when they're breaking for lunch?
We'll see. Here's the thing: all of the hazing would have to be initiated by the King. It can't be some random player.
Oh, AD can't haze. AD can't haze Bronny.
There'll be no Vanderbilt hazing out here. There'll be no Hachimura hazing out here. No.
Oh, so Bronny's protected in that way that only one man can haze.
He's the only one that can initiate it, and then the other cats will be looking around like, can we join in, or
yeah. So the locker room snap in the locker room when they snapping and throwing the hot towel throwing the hot water on you in the cold shower, throwing the cold water in the hot shower. Only LeBron can do that.
Only LeBron can do that.
I mean, okay. I mean, so he's protected. He's coming to the game protected, huh?
Yeah. It's not just like one of the guys kind of thing. No.
Interesting. But now that's going to look weird when you guys is dogging out Connect. Dalton is getting all the hazing, and Dalton has to run to Starbucks to get the 12 cups, the 12 coffees, and Bronny is chilling. He's chilling in the locker room and waiting for Dalton to come back. That's going to get kind of weird.
It's already weird, Cam. I mean, but everybody understands what's going on here.
Oh, everybody's accepting, huh?
Well, I
Okay.
mean, I don't know how accepting they are, but they understand it.
So under so there might be some conversations that Bronny and Bronny and James might not be hearing in the locker room.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. It starts out that way. The dynamic in and of itself, like, wow, it will be visibly apparent this person shouldn't be playing NBA basketball. So, and you already know that the only reason he's playing NBA basketball is because your dad is the king. So that dynamic in and of itself obviously is going to have some animosity, and you just have to do your best to manage it and mitigate it.
Okay, fans, I'm gonna let you guys go on this one. I'm gonna let this is the last question, but I just find this like dynamic interesting. And since Cleveland has the ear to Rob and he's on the text line with Rob and Jeannie, I'm interested to know. We got to ask these questions, fans. So if I'm interested in this and I want to know, I'm sure you guys are interested and would like to know the answers to some of these questions. What happens, Cleveland, when I know you're not a fan of Hard Knocks, but Hard Knocks is able. They've been doing this so well. They were able to put cameras up in the corner where the cameras aren't really intrusive. They just have their mobile team, the truck out front, where they can zoom in and turn up the sound. And so what happens now when the Lakers actually have guys with the physical cameras coming in to kind of document some of this process, or the guy from Spring Hill? I mean, it probably won't be the Lakers that bring your Spring Hill team coming in and documenting this process. What's happening now? Are the guys, do they have to shut up for the cameras and not speak their real mind? So we're not getting the authenticity, or are they able to speak their true minds when these cameras start rolling?
They won't be able to speak their true minds, and it'd be incredible edit jobs that get done. Yeah.
So a lot of editing by the Spring Hill.
A lot of editing.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And so they're going to be obviously looking for. So can they be frustrated like when they do hit Bronny on the wing and he's wide open for the wide open three or the elbow jumper and he shoots and misses it? Or can they get frustrated in that situation, or they just gotta go slap high five, go get him next time?
That's okay, Bronny. We'll get him next time.
on that note, fans, you can see this is going to be entertaining. I guess this might be a good thing after all. This might bring us more content for the show, because now I can get some truthful analysts, analyst from Cleveland, and he knows he can't sugarcoat it. He knows he can't sugarcoat it, and what do they say? What's the saying? You can't put makeup on a pig. And Cleveland knows that he can't put makeup on a pig and has to tell the truth. We might get some authenticity from Cleveland. This is going to be interesting, fans. I'm looking forward to it. Now I'm excited about the season coming up with Bronny on the Lakers. Now I'm excited, fans. I hope you guys are too. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast on this Sunday special. Give yourself a round of applause. Give Cleveland a round of applause for being honest today. I appreciate the honesty, Cleveland. This is some unveiled honesty I don't think we've gotten in many cases, because he doesn't like Gino. He's honest about that. He can't hide his frustration with Gino, although I think Gino's a good quarterback. But this honesty here with Bronny, he can't seem to hide as well. We know what Cleveland thinks about. If you guys listen to the show for any amount of time, you know what he thinks about the NBA Summer League. And to say that he doesn't want Bronny playing in the Summer League, fans, I got to give Cleveland I got to give him a personal round of applause for giving up his true feelings about Bronny playing in the Summer League, because we already know how he feels. We already know how he feels about the Summer League. And fans, thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you can't, hit that like button, hit the share button, share the show with your friend, share it with your uncle, your cousin, your schoolmate. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And as always, thank you for making our voice your choice. Enjoy the day.